Welcome everyone, my name is Mr. Otherwise known as Chris, and welcome to more Crysis 3. Now I'm not necessarily talking, actually I'm not talking at all about Crysis 3 today, that's not because I'm not interested, I've actually got something else I want to talk about. Now, a few days ago I brought out a video called The Gaming Industry. That was me talking about the way the gaming industry is going and my thoughts on that. Generally quite upsetting thoughts. I'm not really happy with the way that there are so many games coming out now that are what I call cash-ins or money grabs. It's up to you which one of those terms you pick. You can put them together for more effect if you feel like it, but the problem is, a lot of companies are just like making games because they know it's going to make money because people buy them, and that is all they do it for. There's no love involved, there's no thought involved, and it's kind of an issue. Now, today I'm actually going to be talking about like my favourite games from the past and sort of recent times as well, and what made them good and why modern games will most likely not live up to that. Some games do. Some games that I play, I'm like, whoa, this is a good game, but generally you don't really get games that you play them and you just think, wow, that was a good game, I'm so glad I bought that was such a good investment. You don't get that as often these days. I really used to be fair, but now it doesn't come around as much. And if you want an example of recent times of a game that was supposed to be really good but it was just generic crap with complete nothingness inside of it, Aliens Colonial Marines. Now I know you've probably heard a ton about it already and you're probably like, oh, here we go again. Well, I'm just going to summarise it very quickly. Essentially, I played the game around my brothers all the way through to the end. It was a very short campaign. It was a very boring campaign. It was nothing to do with aliens, really. It was, but it wasn't like well thought out. And there wasn't even that many aliens in it anyway. There was like 3 levels of aliens, and then most of the rest of it was like humans and stuff. But it just kind of was just so unimaginative and just a cash in, just as I like to call them, just a massive cash in. You know, I'm a big Aliens fan. You know, I've seen Alien about 20 times. I've seen Aliens about 30 times. I've seen Alien 3 and Resurrection, probably not as much as that, but Resurrection I didn't really like. Too much action, not enough mystery to the aliens, which is kind of an issue. I mean, Aliens got a bit good, like it was very good at keeping the action and the mystery, scary elements of it very well together. Whereas Alien Resurrection was like, yeah, there's some more aliens that's chasing after him, oh, they're going to die. And because you didn't really care about the characters anyway, just wasn't that interesting. And Alien 3 I didn't mind. It's watchable, but it's definitely not as good as the other two. But the problem is, Aliens Colonial Marines, it was like, oh, what can make a lot of money? Oh yeah, Aliens Colonial Marines, let's announce we're doing one. They announce it and everyone's excited, including me. I was actually going to buy it. It was only the fact that I didn't have the money when the game came out that I didn't get it. But, you know, it came out, well, it was on its way in anyway, it was just about to come out, and there were so many trailers for it and game spots and stuff like that. I was just like, this looks like a really good game, I can't wait for it, it looks like it's been really well thought out. And then when I saw like some reviews of it, I thought, what is wrong? And then luckily my brother had bought it to play for himself, so I thought, alright, I'll come play it with you. And it was, the reviews are not lying, it is an absolute crap game. Generally because the story is unimaginative. It's just it's just a first-person shooter set in the alien world with lots of crap that's just nothing to do with the alien world universe. So that's pretty much my views on that. But there's too many games like that now. There's so many games that come out like that, and because like, I mean, a lot of you may like it, and dislike the video or something. But at the end of the day, just because I'm an Alien fan doesn't mean I'm going to buy the Alien game and like it. That I'm a very opinionated person, and I'm not one of these people who's blinded very easily just because I love something. At the end of the day, if it's bad, it's bad, and it's simple as that. And that's kind of why I'm happy they didn't mess up Crysis 3, because I've loved the first one's campaign. I didn't get to play the multiplayer. I like the second one's campaign, not as much, but still pretty good. I still really like the multiplayer. Now this one didn't have as good a campaign, but the multiplayer still lived up to its standards, so I'm quite happy with the series as a whole. The story could have done a bit better, but still, whatever. They did a good job with the multiplayer, so I'm still not worried. So I'm just going to relate like some games that I used to play in the past and why the games today don't really live up to that. And in the comments, you know, post your favourite games and your opinions on why they were good and stuff like that. That's mainly what this is about. Why are your favourite games good? Now, I have had gaming experience from, oh my god, I'm going back now, like Super Nintendo, like in the 90s, and I've been playing games since then, like handheld or console, a couple of PC games here and there. So I've played a lot of games. I haven't picked a single favourite game. It's just too difficult to. I've played hundreds of them, and I can't just pick one out of all of them. So this first one, it sounds generic, but I promise you it's not. if you've ever played Hawks, like Tom Clancy's Hawks, that sort of game, like where you're in a jet, you're a part of a squadron, and you've got to go take down some targets, it's very similar to that. It's called Ace Combat Squadron Leader. It's also known as the Unsung War in other countries, which is kind of a better title because it's more to do with the story as opposed to who you are. But yeah, it may sound generic, but what this did better than a lot of the other like flight games that I've played. It's not really a flight sim, by the way. Don't think of that. It's like a semi-arcade / sim type game, and it's very well done. But the thing that made it really good, for me anyway, is not only does it have good gameplay, relatively good graphics and physics for the time, it also has a very good story. You really, I mean, there's only 3 other people with you. You do get different characters here and there throughout the game. I'm not going to give you any spoilers as to how that happens, but because you may want to play it, I don't know. But it was just one of those games that comes out and you just think, wow, that was a good game. It had a very good story. You really care about the characters, and it had lots of plot twists which you don't really expect in such a game. And I'm kind of upset that I can't play it again because it is. I don't really want to go out and buy a PS. I would, don't get me wrong, go out and buy a PS2 just to play this game, but I've played it, and sometimes I feel that when you've played a game and enjoyed it, I played the campaign like 3 or 4 times, but I find that when you've played a game and enjoyed it, you shouldn't go back to it later, because I've done that in the past, and it's not the same. As much as it may feel like it's going to be the same, it is not in any way the same. Another game I really enjoyed, which some of you may or may not have played, I imagine you have though, is Red Dead Redemption. It's a newer game than obviously in Ace Combat, but it was just the campaign and the online were both good, and this is rare these days because most companies just concentrate on the multiplayer, because now it's become all about kill streaks and deathmatch and who can get the most kills. So unemotional and crap, it is ridiculous. But I understand why those games are fun, but I want a good story here and there, and it's not happening, I'm afraid. But Red Dead Redemption had a really, really good story. Like, it was a long campaign. I think it took me about 15 hours to complete, 16 hours, and that was just going through the story missions. If you actually stop to actually look around, which I did quite a lot, by the way, I played through this twice, but if you just stop and look around and like just do some of the side quests and stuff like that, it is a really fun game, and it's fun without the side quests as well. But if you just do the side quests, it just makes it that much better. And the character of John Marston, he's the main character. You really care about his situation. You really want to help him out. Well, obviously you pretend you are him because obviously you're playing the game. You're seeing things from his point of view. But you know, you get all these different weapons on the way through. You meet all these different characters. Every character is well thought out, and you like them or dislike them for reasons that the company, like Rockstar, made you want to do that. They really thought about how, you know, you would view everything that you see. And John Marston is not, like, he may be a cowboy, but he's not a good guy, but he's not a bad guy either. He's kind of like a guy who's had a bad past, but now he's got good intentions, and that's kind of the way I looked at it. And they just did a very good job of depicting him as a character. He wasn't just your typical cowboy, and that was what I liked about it. And the multiplayer itself, what I found fun about it was, you know, even if you're playing by yourself or in a team is a lot better, but sometimes by yourself is better too. It depends what you're playing the game for, but you know, you can just ride around on horses and stuff, like in the Wild West, and there's other characters, and you got like players even, and you got, you know, you can take them down, or you can posse up, or you can like take them hostage and stuff like that. It was really good, and it just made it that much more enjoyable. And you had all these quests that sometimes you're just riding through an area, and it's like, the bandits are held up at the cave in the valley, or something like that. It's been a while, but yeah. And then you, as a posse, you go in there, you earn XP, you level up, and as you level up, you earn new skins, you earn new guns, you earn new horses, and it's just so well thought out and such a fun game that you invest a lot of time into. Really worth the £40 or 50, 60 bucks, whatever you pay over in America, that you pay. It's one of those games that you feel like your money was well spent. And that's another game, actually. It was more of a franchise. It's the Assassin's Creed franchise. Now, this may sound a little bit generic because a lot of people like it, but I really like the story for Assassin's Creed, or at least up until number 3. Now, number 3, I'm going to explain why it kind of ruined the series for me. I hope number 4 revives it, but number 1 sets the scene. Number 2, Brotherhood and Revelation, set the kind of build-up to, you know, you're going to save the world, but how's it going to happen? You've got all these artifacts, you've got this information about this race that lived that you knew nothing about, and it's interesting as you're going through. The thing with number 3 that kind of Assassin's Creed 3 that ruined it for me, really, it was a good game in terms of its physics and the way the game played. I was a bit disappointed that the enemies weren't harder. You could take on groups of like 100 enemies without taking a hit, but The character of Connor was unimaginative and boring. I didn't enjoy him at all. He had nothing about him that was interesting in any way. The way the game ended, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's just so disappointing, and you get no information, nothing. It's just such a build-up to that, and then nothing happens. So I'm hoping Assassin's Creed 4 fixes that, but that is a good series if you just want to play it through anyway. It is really enjoyable. So I hope I kind of got a message across that, so I've only mentioned a couple of games, but I hope that you agree with the games that I've mentioned. You may not have played all of them, which is understandable, but, it's up to you the way you look at it. But in my opinion, I think that more games need good campaigns. That's kind of where I'm going with this. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, please press a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, and subscribe for more. Have a nice day, and I'll catch you guys later.